I had to let go of someone right before I went to America. I had a meeting with them and they were going to be working really closely with me. And we had our first meetup in Sydney. We were having a little vino together. And I said, oh, you know, you should know my passion. You should know my goal. And I said, I really want to be Jimmy Kimmel or a Jimmy Fallon or a Steve Colbert. Like my goal is to be an epic talk show host that helps people and holds space for people and entertains. She spat her vino out and started laughing at me. And I like held my shit together for that meeting. And then I walked straight up to my hotel room. My boyfriend was in my hotel room and I said, I can't work with her. And I wish I had the courage looking back to have said, why would you laugh at me? I wish I did. I didn't have that. I think I do now, having kind of like been in raw America and direct America. But I did let her go and I did part ways. But, yeah, you can't work with people that don't believe in you. It's never going to work.
I'm speechless at that story. But what I would say is you taught me, Lola, no regrets. So, and I think, you know, the grace and the elegance that you would have had in that situation speaks to your integrity and your humanity. And yeah, wow. It's interesting, you know, before this conversation, I was asking I've got a 10-year-old son. I was asking him, what has Mummy taught you? Like, what's something a lesson that she's shared with you that you remember? And the first thing he said was, get off the Xbox. And I was like, okay, like something, you know, that a super mum would say to you. And he said, when I'm being bullied, know that it's more about them and not about me. And yeah, when you told that story, that's all I could think about. I was like, what's going on for her to say that? Because it had nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? When you're in it, it's so hard to feel like when you're in the eye of the storm.
Yes,
it's so hard to be clear, but like it is powerful to stay clear when you are in the eye of the storm, because when you do come out, like you were saying, the other side, you're like, whoa, I just nailed that. Like I just had the courage to sit in that. And like there's a word in yoga called shakshin, which means to bear witness while standing in fire. And so to sit in it and witness it and listen and soak it up. And like, I am fire. I'm not going to lie to you, Jackie. I am fire. Are
you sure?
I'll have a meeting and like my boyfriend does a lot of the hard work with the coffee company, and he's like, oh my God, he's like, you're not working on this. And I always say, boss, I'm the evangelist. I'm this. And he's like, shut up if you say evangelist one more time, Lola. So, but I do, like, I'm not afraid of confrontation. I wouldn't say I thrive in it, but I'm very comfortable sitting in fire now, like, and I know that it's going to come with growth. And so I kind of embrace it. And I know it's going to force me to face my blind spots. It's going to force me to have more courage and to call out crap. And yeah, I welcome it now.
Yes, same. And reflecting now on that situation, it's great, isn't it? Because it's almost like a gift. It's like, what did that situation teach you? And you've grown so much from that.
Oh, yeah. And you get to, like you said, like you can be in that situation and be like, whoa, you're really mean and this has got nothing to do with me. But like even when I was in LA recently, a friend really dicked me over and gaslit me. And in the moment, like right after they'd done it, they tried to like make me feel crap. And I just turned around and said, hey, that's really hurtful. Like, why would you do that? That made me feel awkward. It made me feel uncomfortable. And I listed all the ways that it was making me feel, and they didn't know what to do. And they turned around to me and said, I think it's just because you're really stressed, Lola. And I was so angry and so hurt that I just burst into tears. I was on Rodeo Drive, mind you, which is like an iconic part of LA, right? I had to go back there with another friend on my bed. I was like, I need to reset the energy of Rodeo Drive with a really cool legend of a friend. And I went with this amazing guy after, and we just had the best day down. Okay, so I reset my Rodeo energy. But this person previously, like much earlier on in my time there, was horrible. And I knew I'd never see them again, and I never did. I hugged them. I said goodbye, bawling my eyes out. And then I left. But yeah, so I did have the courage, and I said to my therapist, I had the courage to call out really bad behavior in the moment.
Amazing.
Yeah. Cool. Good work, Lols. I was like, this is
rockstar Lola. Yeah. Unapologetically evangelistic Lola. That's what we're
Big
calling
time.
you.
Big time.
I love it. So if I was your daughter, what would you teach me incessantly? What would you repeat to me like a drill?
Oh, I think self-belief goes miles. I think it is like a currency that will never let you down and run out if you've created it. And it's something that I probably didn't have in my like teens, and definitely not my 20s. And I would tell any younger listener now, that anyone that's listening to this, say in their 20s, like, get a therapist.
Yes.
Even if you think you don't need one, like learn to process your stuff. And like you said, you process things so much faster when you've got coaches. And so if you can figure out, we've all got stuff that happened as a kid that we're still holding on to. Even if it was nothing, our psychology thinks it's something. And I remember I was holding on to some freaking weird throwaway line my mum said to me in the garden. I love my mum. She's a freaking legend. But she said some throwaway line. She was tired and stressed. I was having a fight with my brother. And she said a throwaway line to my brother about like basically like that he was cooler than me. Or in my mind, my perception was she liked him more than me. That wasn't the truth at all. But my psychology had remembered it as that. And so, like, I didn't get to process that until I went to therapy at freaking 30 years old. And I was holding on, whether I realized it or not, subconsciously. And so I always say to people, like, I know it's still a bit of a stigma in Australia. Get to a therapist in your 20s. You're going to have way healthier romantic relationships. You're going to figure out what you really want to do. You're going to be less fearful. You're going to be okay to have, like, failures and lessons. And yeah, that's my biggest thing. And my feedback I always get from my publishers is like, you've written how important it is to have a therapist like 160 times in this book. And I'm like, yeah, but it is. I stick by it.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening to our show. We are so thankful you are here, and we can't do this show without you. And if you made it to the end of this episode, celebrate yourself, because it means you are truly dedicated to feeling better in your health, in your career, in your relationships. And I am so proud of you. Signing out. See you next week. Jackie. Bye-bye.